She's such a lesbian podcast. All right, y'all. Welcome back to She's Such a Lesbian Podcast, the podcast where conversations are gay, the laughs are loud, and the stories are probably a little too honest. I'm your host, Dyse. You already know what it is. And today's segment is called Lesbians in the Left Lane. Now, if you're new here, the idea behind this segment is simple. We talk about lesbian life, dating, chaotic relationships, and the random things that happen when women who like women try to navigate the world. And lately, my world has gotten even more interesting because I'm currently in truck driving school, working towards my Class A CDL. So not only am I living the lesbian life, I'm living the lesbian in a semi truck life. And let me tell you something, y'all. Truck driving school, it's already a reality show. You've got people grinding gears, people stressing out about their pre-trip inspection, people knocking over cones, doing backup practice, and there's me, a lesbian in a yard, trying to back a trailer while also wondering the girl 2 trucks down is nice or dangerously friendly. So today we're mixing both worlds, trucking life and lesbian life. Because honestly, the left lane is the perfect place for lesbians. We move fast, we commit fast, and sometimes we realize we should have slowed down about 3 exits ago. All right. And if you're driving along with me today, buckle up. It's going to be worldwide. All right. Now, segment one, the lesbian speed of relationships. Let's talk about the most famous stereotype in lesbian culture, the speed. Because straight people would date someone for 6 months and still be like, yeah, we're just seeing where things are going to go. But lesbians, we meet someone and immediately start planning a life together. I swear, lesbian relationships moves faster than a truck going downhill with a full load. And listen, I'm in truck driving school right now, so speed is something I'm learning to respect. My instructor is always like, control your speed, control your speed. And I'm sitting there thinking, if only I had told my lesbians that years ago. Because the moment two lesbians connect emotionally, it's over. You meet, you talk for 5 hours, you share your childhood trauma, you exchange playlists, and suddenly someone's Googling apartment prices. I remember one time I started talking to a girl within a week. She was sending me pictures of furniture like, do you like this couch? And I'm like, girl, I don't even know your middle name yet. Oh my God. And now that I'm in truck school, I see some of the same type of fast energies with students. Day one, everyone is nervous. Day three, people are acting like they're professional drivers. Day five, someone is already talking about buying their own truck. And I'm just like, can we pass the backing test first? But honestly, lesbians and trucking students have something in common. We're optimistic, you know, we're committed. And sometimes we jump into things before fully thinking them through. And that's why so many of us crash emotionally sometimes. We're going full speed with hearts open wide. And just like truck school, sometimes enthusiasm leads to minor accidents or major life lessons. Let's go ahead to segment two, friendly vibes check. Next, we're swapping out the gaydar segment for something more universal, right? Let's call it friendly vibes check. Because honestly, something is not about labels. Sometimes it's not about that. It's about reading people and figuring out who vibes with you. So picture this. It's early in the morning. We're all standing on around the training yard. Everyone's half awake. Someone's drinking coffee. Someone else is stressing about the air brake test. And then someone walks in wearing boots, a hoodie, and confidence. And your brain immediately goes, okay, wait, is this someone I can hang out with? Sometimes you're right. Sometimes you're wrong. And that's the humbling part, y'all. Have you ever been convinced someone's super cool and 5 minutes later you found out, maybe not so much. That happens to me all the time. And honestly, learning to trust your vibes is a skill you carry through life. Truck yard or dating scene. Observing energy, how someone talks to others, the little things they do. All of it tells a story. And for anyone listening, if you're ever locked eyes with someone and silently wonder, are they chill or just polite? You're not alone. And yes, overthinking it still happens. It's human. And sometimes that overthinking makes for funny stories or awkward moments, which I have plenty of. And that's in a whole nother podcast. Let's roll down to segment three. Is she flirting or just nice? Now let's talk about one of the biggest mysteries in lesbian life. Is she flirting or is she just nice? Because men assume flirting is someone smiles in their direction, but lesbians, a woman could literally compliment you 3 times and will still be confused. I swear. She could say, "You're really cute. I like talking to you. We should hang out sometime." And the lesbian will go home and think, I can't tell if she likes me. And honestly, I've had moments like that, you know, even in my younger years. And sometimes I've seen that on a yard with other lesbians, in trucking school. Because when you're learning something different, people encourage each other. Someone might say, "Good job back in that, trailer." And suddenly your brain is like, okay, was that encouragement or flirting? And this is how lesbians overthink. That is where it begins because we analyze every freaking thing, man. The tone, the eye contact, the timing. Meanwhile, the other person might just be friendly. And with me being married, it's everybody that I meet is cool. You know what I'm saying? It might be rough in the beginning when I meet you, like, especially if I'm like thrown off, but I'm friendly with everyone, and everyone's friendly with me because I know that people match energies. It's not just me, but people match energies. I always say, if you read the book by its cover, at least open the book and read the first page. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know what that person is going through. And friendliness is not always flirting, man. It's not. And I'm an OG stub because as an OG, I used to always explain myself like, I don't mean it like that. I'm not trying to, woo woo. I always explain to myself. And I'm kind of like learning that I really don't have to because it's just all how your vibe go. So a lot of lesbians overthink it, and the other person just might be friendly. So, but listen, if a woman helps you with your back maneuver and brings you snacks, I'm just saying, it's going to be friendly. If you think it's flirting, I mean, you just got to read that person. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people in my trucking school, man, even the women, even, what I'm saying, people that I've met here, they haven't been nothing but nice and helped me with everything. I swear, man, I was doing the offset and my freaking roommate was like my roommate was like, "Yo, chill, man. Just look at the shadows, you know what I'm saying? Even out your back tires." So I'm like, okay. So I'm backing up and I'm looking in the rearview mirror. I'm like, oh, that's what she mean. Okay. So, you know what I'm saying? 2 minutes before 5, before everybody get ready to go, I ended up passing my back end. So yeah, it's something that and especially a lesbian, you just can't go in everywhere and thinking people is flirting. You know what I'm saying? I'm not single, so it's just I'm more friendly. It's not like that, definitely. So trucking school helps with my patience, but it's still a puzzle. You know what I'm saying? So let's go to segment 4, lesbian road trip energy. Let's talk about road trips because lesbian love a road trip, right? And honestly, truck driving school is basically preparing me for the ultimate road trip lifestyle. I can't wait. But there's the thing about lesbian road trips. They start spontaneously. I'm like that too. You'll be talking to someone, and suddenly one of you says, "You know what we should do? Take a drive." And next thing you know, you're 2 hours away in deep conversations about life. And the music is good, the snacks are elite, and someone talking about childhood memories before you even reach the next date. And that's the thing about lesbian connections. They get deep quickly. But now I'm learning to drive big trucks. Road trips are about to look different. Because imagine picking up your girl in the semi truck or wife. Like, hey girl, hop in this passenger seat. We're going to, take the scenery route. That would actually be iconic, because my wife want to ride along with it, and I'm excited that she want to go. Lesbians in the left lane is for real, and honestly, road trips are also perfect timing for overthinking, psychological debates, playlist battles, and snack wars. Basically, all of life, condensed into one car ride. All right, so let's go to segment 5, lesbian red flags. Let's talk about the red flags a little bit. And before anyone gets defensive, remember, we are all learning. Some things should make you pause. Red flag number 1. When someone says, all my exes are crazy, and I always think, all of them? Because at some point, we have to evaluate the pattern. You know what I'm saying? Red flag number 2. When someone refuses to define their relationship, they're like, I don't believe in labels. And suddenly you're emotionally invested, but completely confused. And let's add trucking red flags too. If someone says they're a professional driver, but they can't get back in the trailer, that's suspicious. You know what I'm saying? Because packing in the because backing is the real test. And honestly, relationships are kind of the same. When it's easy when things are moving forward. But a real challenge is when you have to slow down, adjust, and figure things out. And sometimes you have to laugh at the chaos while keeping your eye on the road. Emotional semi trucks, y'all. Let's go ahead to our segment 6, which is questions and answers. This segment is basically I'm getting the questions that people has sent me to my messenger, and I'm just answering it. So this next segment is question and answers. All right. So the first question is, how do you handle missing your partner while being on the road? Honestly, it's calls, texts, little surprises, and playlists. I will bring her everywhere with me. So, you know what I'm saying? Once I get my own truck, she's right there, glued to my hip, not on mine. Question number 2. What's the funniest thing at truck school? I would say knocking over cones multiple times. My instructors have a love-hate relationship with me, man. People be throwing up their hands, teaching me to offset, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I got it down, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Practice makes perfect. Let's shoot down to question number 3. Advice for lesbians starting a career that makes them away from the home. Listen, y'all. Communication is key. Boundaries, check ins, a little humor, and snacking always help. But for those that are keeping healthy, a lot of healthy snacks, you can do that too. So, question number 4. Making friends in a mostly male trucking environment hard. Um, Observe, you know, help people, laugh at the chaos, share struggling bond, to bond people faster than anything. So, keeping cool with everybody and everybody's cool with you, you have a happy fucking family. You understand? I mean, sorry, I cussed. You have a happy family. Um, question number five. What is the hardest part of dating while being busy? It's all about time management and energy management. Also, learning when to pause and not overthink every text message. That helps a lot. All right. Let's go to question number six. What are the tips for lesbian road trips? Um, Loose itineraries, an epic playlist. The newest truck, they have Bluetooth. So, me and my wife, we're going to be cruising, man. Excellent snacks, healthy snacks, and spontaneous. Conversations flows naturally when the road is open. The sun is shining bright, and you can just feel that warm air, when the window's down coming at you. That is the most perfect scenery and perfect scenario that I can bring up. Let's go to question number seven. How to know if someone is worth your time. So, how do you know someone is worth your time is consistency, being consistent and how they treat others, alignment of words and actions. Chemistry is fun, but reliability is key. All right, I hope that helped. Question number eight. Managing stress in school and relationships. Take small breaks. Practice your breathing. Humor. Smiling always decrease your stress. And leaning on supportive friends or partners. Question number nine. Worst pickup lines you ever witnessed. Oh man. Um, the people you meet, the stories and realizing they're capable of way more than you imagine. Also, the little coffee in the break rooms, is always your best friend. So, I mean, that's kind of like my favorite thing. But the pickup line is, I've seen from cheesy, corny to painfully awkward. I can do a full episode on that. That's just an episode of worst pickup lines. I get back to y'all with that one. All right, question number 10. What is the most important relationship lesson you've learned recently? Patience. Definitely patience. Communication. And that laughter solves a lot of problems, both in life and in love. So, you know, in closing, y'all, and I truly I truly enjoy doing my podcast because a lot of people, they support you and I appreciate that. So that was the lesbians in the left lane, where we talked about love and a little bit of chaos. And right now, chaos includes truck driving school. So if you want more stories about learning how to drive a semi truck, almost hitting cones, and navigating lesbian life at the same time, stick around because trust me, there are more stories coming. This has been such a wonderful, wonderful time talking to you guys. And this is She's Such a Lesbian. I'm your host, Dyse. And remember, life is short. Drive safe, love who you love, and sometimes stay in the left lane. All right, y'all? Till next time. Peace.